Welcome everyone to the Proven Knowledge Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Church. I'm a music producer from Northeast Ohio. I began this weekly interview series to give you different perspectives from artists, producers, engineers, and other individuals in the music industry. In each episode, we touch on not only what has helped the person succeed, but we also touch on what has shaped them into the person that they are today. I hope you're able to gain some real proven knowledge from the show, and that it helps elevate you on your own journey to success as well. Let's get into it. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 281 here on the Proven Knowledge Podcast. Today I welcomed an Oklahoma City-based artist. Her name is EszJay. I got introduced to EszJay through Dom. Shout out to Dom, obviously, for always sending me great guests. I feel like I say it almost every week at this point. But got introduced to EszJay. We had to push this episode back a bit through scheduling and through a little bit of different things going on in our lives. But I was finally able to make this happen this week, and this was a really cool conversation. She talked about her beginnings in the state of Illinois, growing up, being involved in hip hop, being the only woman doing it, and kind of what her perspective was on that. But then, her decision to move to Oklahoma City, what she's learned by doing different local showcases, making different connections, and doing different podcasts as well, and the importance of being able to spread, her message and let people know about her music. And on the music tip, she has a brand new EP coming out in 2026 that she's super excited about. It's technically her first official project. So it's very exciting, and she has a lot of different shows she wants to do and some different videos and visualizers she's planning as well. So it's going to be a big year for her. I really just loved her message of staying persistent and staying dedicated to the craft through everything, and obviously staying authentic and staying genuine to what it means to be an artist to her, which obviously we talk about on this show all the time and how important and vital that is. So thank you to EszJay for stopping by this week, and I hope you guys enjoy this one as always. So without further ado, let's get into it. And EszJay, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. And we usually have the guest kind of introduce themselves. How did you get started in music? And just tell us about you and what you do.
All right. Well, as you know, my name's EszJay. Basically, I was born and raised from Peoria, Illinois, is where I'm originally from. I'm based in Oklahoma City now. Moved there about 2 years ago. I love it out there now. Bigger city, a lot of more opportunities. So that was one of the main reasons I went out there, more opportunities for music and that sort of thing. So, basically, I got music started. I've been rapping since high school, so about 13, 14 is when I started rapping. From there, basically, I didn't really take it too serious at first, just because I was the only female in a group of guys all the time. A lot of people didn't really take me serious anyway, so I was just kind of having fun with it at first. But probably about the last 5 years is when I started taking it more serious, and a lot of opportunities kind of jumped my way, so I kind of jumped on it, and it kind of just blew up from there. A lot of people took an opportunity on me, and so I just jumped on board and went with it.
Yeah. That's very interesting you mentioned that about kind of being the only woman doing it too at that time. Was that ever discouraging? Was that something you had to kind of get through as far as having the confidence level to pursue it? Was there ever like a moment where you said, I can do this, I know I can do it, so I'm just going to keep going and see where it leads?
Yeah, rapping really is like what boosted my self-confidence in general though, because when I was younger, I had really low self-esteem. So I feel like that was kind of my outlet of oh, okay, well, I'm the only girl here, so let me prove myself. So yeah, at times it was really discouraging, being the only female in a group of guys, but majority of my friends are guys, so it kind of wasn't too bad because a lot of them were my friends anyways. So as soon as they were like, hey, actually, you're pretty good. And I was like, okay, we'll see what happens, know?
Yeah, for sure. It's good to have those voices, too, around you to kind of encourage you as well. So that's a big thing. And obviously, you said you're from Illinois. You moved to Oklahoma City. I have a buddy, his artist name is War Mothershed. He's based in Oklahoma City. I think he's the only one I know out there. So tell me a little bit more about the music scene, mostly the independent artist scene as well. How is it out there, and how have you found, the ability to kind of network and maneuver through the scene, and, what does it look like?
So there's a pretty good music scene out there. You just have to find it. I mean, and that's anywhere you go. I mean, it's not Atlanta, it's not Houston.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not, we're not in Cali, we're not, it's not huge when it comes to rapping anyways. So you just kind of have to find those opportunities. I honestly, there's websites, there's groups, Facebook groups. There's a lot of good ones on there. That's kind of how I got started. And then I met a few DJs that were like, hey, we got these open mics. And, I just kind of went from there. And then, got with Dom. Dom helped me with a lot of opportunities as well. So I kind of jumped on board from there. And there's a lot of independent artists out there. Like, there really is. Like, and they're really good. Like, honestly, I wasn't expecting that in Oklahoma City, but I was like, hey, we should get on something because it's hard to be an independent artist, man. It really is.
I think the great thing, and I had a conversation, I think it was with CYD Tone, who's based out of Charlotte, I believe, and we talked about how there's different independent artist scenes kind of popping up all over the place now, as opposed to just the big cities. And I think the internet has a lot to do with that, because people are able to get exposed to different kinds of music too, which is super cool. But it allows these smaller areas or even the smaller cities to kind of create their own lane and their own pocket and kind of build a community. So it sounds like for you, it's been able to do that because you're going, like you said, these local events and different things. You're being able to attend that, which is super awesome. And obviously, you said getting connected with Dom, huge thing. I know you've been doing a lot of different interviews as well on other podcasts. How has that journey been? Because obviously, I always feel like doing podcasting and having those conversations can kind of open up different doors too, and it allows you to kind of explain your music in a different light. So how has that been, being able to go on different platforms and speak about your work?
I love it, honestly. I think it's a great opportunity for anybody, and I think anybody should jump on board. Like, big podcast, little small cast, it doesn't matter. Like, your voice is getting out there, and people want to hear why you're making music, and your background of where you came from and what led you to where you are today. And I think it's important for people to tell their story, not just behind their music. Obviously, a lot of people tell a story with their music, but I think it's good to kind of dive into what led you to where you are today. So I think it's really important. I love doing podcasts. I love getting to meet new people too. So especially all over too, you're in Ohio, you know what I mean? So it's good to, just make those connections and network and get to know other people.
Yeah. So. It gives you a different level of exposure, I feel like, and helps your reach for sure. And I think I read that you're working on a project right now. I'm not sure if it's an EP or an album, but tell us more about that, because you dropped one song earlier this year. But are you kind of just gearing up for the release of this project, and what's it all about?
So I'm working on an EP right now. It'll be about 8-9 songs on the EP is what I'm working on. I'm about halfway done with it right now. So my goal is to get it done by the end of the year, or at least the beginning of next year is when I'm planning on dropping it. But basically it's all about just kind of bringing women up, women empowerment, letting people know that hey, we have a voice too. It's not just this men dominated industry anymore. Women are really making a voice out here these days, and we really need to hone in on that and let people know hey, we are in here, we're doing it right now. So, and that's basically what my whole project is about, just reminding people hey, we have a voice out here, and we're gonna let you know what's going on. So
that's incredible. After we're done with this interview, I'll talk to you about for Proven Knowledge, we do the Women's Appreciation Month in March every year. I'd love to have you involved in that if you're down for that.
Absolutely.
We do a lot of different content ideas and try to help out and kind of push women creatives as well. So that's a big thing. But congrats to you on doing that. I think that's super cool, and I'm definitely excited for the project. And is there anyone you're working with on this project? Could be producers or other artist features. Anyone you want to shout out today on the show?
So really just shout out to my producer right now I'm working with, B Woods. I've known him for years, but he's been the main one helping me and kind of, being my producer and kind of, my friend, giving me advice and stuff like that. So I just shout out to him for, taking the time to work with me. And shout out to Dom too. Dom's been not just helping with the project, but helping me with opportunities. And, that's a big thing, especially releasing my first EP. It's important, that people know what's going on.
Yeah.
So shout out to both of them for sure. And, a good friend of mine, Brandon, he's been helping me in the studio, kind of bouncing ideas off each other, and he's actually getting back into music himself because of me. So,
nice.
And, that means a lot to me because for me to inspire somebody to start making music again, I think that's really dope.
Yeah.
So.
Hey there, hope you're enjoying the episode so far. I just wanted to take a quick minute out to let you know about a couple different ways that you can support the podcast. One of the ways is by clicking that support the podcast button within your streaming platform. That is if you want to be a monthly supporter of the show. You can contribute either 99 cents, $5, or $10 a month. So that's the first way, and that's the more traditional way that we've had now for the last couple years. The other method that we actually just recently introduced is from our good friends over at Ko-fi. Ko-fi is a virtual tip jar. We have set our limit to a minimum of $10, but you can go make one-time, one-off donations. So if you visit ko-fi.com/the Proven Knowledge Podcast, you'll be able to donate. And all these different forms of donation go towards getting new guests every single week, getting potential sponsors on board to do giveaways, and overall just making the show better for you guys. So if you want to do that Ko-fi link, it's ko-fi.com/the Proven Knowledge Podcast. Otherwise, again, look for that support the podcast button in your streaming platform if you'd like to be a monthly supporter. And I just want to say thank you guys for your contributions. And without further ado, let's get back into the episode. Yeah, that's how you know you're doing the right thing too in your own journey, I think, is when it kind of affects people in that positive light. So that's a huge part of it too. And are you doing a lot of in studio stuff for all the recording and the writing for this project, or has it been a little bit of, writing at home, going to the studio, recording? Has it kind of been a little bit of both, or how's the process been?
A little bit of both. My producer's actually in Atlanta now, so I actually got to go to his studio and kind of link up with him and work with him actually in his studio. But everything I honestly write and record in my own studio at home. I just have a little studio set up in my living room, and I kind of just work from there and, usually just send my music off and do it that way. But,
yeah.
I mean, I just write anywhere, to be honest. I have a notebook with me 24/7. I'm really old school and I like to actually handwrite it. Yeah. I know everyone's writing in their phone nowadays, but, I do write in my phone sometimes. It's just not the same to me. I like to write it, scratch it out, try again, and then I'll go back and look at it and be like, actually, that was a good idea. So I always have a notebook with me, no matter where I go. And people probably think I'm weird, running around with a notebook in my hand. But
it's a lot more of a natural process, though, because it kind of allows you to, in the moment, be able to write down those ideas. And kind of, like you said, even though sometimes you don't always keep the ideas, maybe you're scrapping some of them, or you'll go back and redo them later. I think it's better to just do that. And I think it allows you to disconnect from technology every now and then, which can be vital because I almost feel like if you're writing in your phone all the time, you're tempted to be like, oh, I just got a notification, interrupts what you're doing. Now you're checking that notification. You're not even focused on the writing anymore. So if you're just looking at a pen and paper, you're focused on that and what's going into that. And I don't know how much traveling you do. If it feels like you've done some traveling, you've done some visiting different cities. How much does that inspire your writing and your artistry in general?
It gives me a different view of what people do in different states. I've performed in a lot of different cities. I've been in Missouri, Texas, Tennessee. Those are the majority of the states I performed in. Illinois is where I'm from, so obviously there. And then Oklahoma, obviously, I'm there now. So, but yeah, mainly the Midwest and the South is where I've performed the most. Alabama, I've been there as well. So it's good to see how other artists work too, especially at these other events. It's hey, your style is totally different from mine. What's your process? And I love that I get to network and talk to people and get to know what their process is too, because that gives me ideas on what I can do to do better. Yeah. So I just think it's good to travel and see different things and get different ideas that way, and it helps with my writing too, just seeing different things. I can put it in a song hey, I'm not from here, but this was pretty cool. So things like that, it's good to just get out and see different things.
Yeah. And is that something you're aiming to do with the new project coming out? Are you going to be doing like a tour of some sort, or just doing more shows locally too?
Hopefully, yes, I can get a tour going at some point. I'm not sure if I'm going to put any features on there yet. I'm considering a couple people to put features on my EP, but I'm still kind of considering it just because it is my first EP, and I really want it to just kind of be mine. And then, maybe just do a couple singles with some features with people. And hopefully they can, we can kind of collab and do like a tour together.
Yeah.
I think would be pretty cool just to, network for both of us. I think it'd be good, everyone gets the experience.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. And is there anything else you're working on, coming up toward the end of the year here or going into the new year that you want to let people know about? It could be music videos or any type of social media stuff or other new music, anything you're working on.
So I'm just working on this EP. Like, I want to make sure that it's like going to be like perfect, and I'm a perfectionist. So I'm like, if it doesn't sound the way I want it to, like, we're not dropping it.
Yeah.
So, but I'm getting with, my videographer too. I've actually stayed in contact with him. He did my POP video. So, and he did my first video for Captain's Dance. So we're very connected on that. I was talking to him about the EP and doing a couple music videos for that, but that'll probably be more next year. But hopefully, like, the beginning of next year, we're going to get things really going. The rest of this year, I'll probably just do a few more, like, local shows, a lot of podcasts. I'm really trying to do a lot of podcasts towards the end of the year, just so I can get people, worked up for this EP, and get people, like, hey, like, what's coming next? I want to hear it, and get people excited for it. So that's kind of my goal for the next couple months. And, with the holidays, too, I'm a big family person, so I'll probably be back in Illinois with my family a lot of the time the next couple months, just so I can see them and whatnot. So
I always forget because the fourth quarter of the year is kind of weird because, like you said, those last 2 months, I feel like everybody kind of slows down a bit, which it's good too because you can kind of take a break a little bit as well and then come back full go at the top of the year. And it sounds like for you, 2026 is going to be a very big year with the project and with everything else going on. So early congrats on all of that because it's a lot of awesome stuff, exciting stuff. And we're down to the last few questions here. These are ones I ask on every episode. The first one is, if you could go back 10 years ago, give yourself any piece of advice, or maybe not change anything at all, what would you do?
Have more of a voice for myself, I think. 10 years ago, I was 21, so I was really young. And I was very naive. I listened to what a lot of people would say and not have like my own opinion on things. And I think that's changed a lot for me. I was in a relationship for a long time, and that kind of is what got me started with my music anyways. And I think just that whole ending of the relationship and everything, I really like found myself and who I was as a person. And I wish I would have like seen that 10 years ago, when I was with him. I wish I could have been like, hey, like, this is not the person I want to be or who I am at all. So I think it's really important to just find who you are as a person. And I know that comes with time too, but I mean, if you can really just focus in on who you want to be and like to the best of your ability, like, go for it.
And choosing yourself in those situations is a brave thing to do too. And it's hard, it's definitely not easy. So, like you said, I think the older you get, the more you learn that lesson too. But it is hard for sure. And if we flip that, then we say 10 years from now, where do you think you envision yourself musically and in life in general?
10 years from now, hopefully I will have a lot more projects out. Definitely, hopefully we'll have a couple albums done. And hopefully, a lot of people will know who I am by then. Obviously it's everyone's goal to, get famous and get money and this and that. Like, honestly, like, yeah, those things are important. But to me, I want people to hear my story. Like, I want people to know who I am and, just realize that, like, anybody can really do this. Like, you just have to put your mind to it and have the dedication to sit down and actually do it, because being an independent artist is hard. Like, it really is. Like, for people to actually like find out who you are and like get up to the top and all that, it's hard work. It's like a second job, if I'm being honest with you. Like, I have to like take time to actually sit down and do it. And people think it's so easy, but like, if you don't know what you're doing and like you don't know the business side of things to this either, you're gonna be lost, like, ultimately. So I mean, to anybody, like, just keep working, like, and it'll all come together. Like, obviously everyone wants to be famous, but like, to me, if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. And I'm just glad people can hear my music and hear my story.
Absolutely. And I always look at it as, whatever's meant for you will come to you in time. So that's always something to keep in mind as well. And do you have any final words of wisdom today for the listeners?
Just keep doing you. I mean, honestly, just stay true to yourself. Like, don't try to be somebody you're not. Just keep it real. Like, if you are really those rappers that are out here that really have been through the struggle and this and that, yes, absolutely tell your story. But I feel like these days, a lot of people, especially the younger generation, they're talking about all this and that, and they've never even experienced it. So just don't try to be somebody you're not. Just keep it true to yourself, because people are going to read right through that. They're going to know the fake from the real. So, I mean, just be honest, keep working, stay dedicated, and just stay true to yourself. Yeah, being genuine and being authentic is the two big factors always, no matter what you do. So I got to say, EszJay, I know you're doing that for sure. And thank you again for stopping by today. I'm glad we finally were able to make this happen. And like I said, early congrats on the EP coming up. Early congrats on everything for 2026. And we'll definitely do a part 2 one of these days as well, as long as you're down for it. Absolutely. Thanks everyone for listening today. That was episode 281. We'll be back this time next week. As always, hit that support button on your podcast streaming platform if you'd like to send any funds. And feel free to leave us that 5-star rating if you enjoyed today's episode. So we'll see you then. Thanks everyone.